The match to decide which high school team would go to the Japan Nationals had finally reached its climax. Isagi Yoichi tears his way towards the opposing team's goalpost. Pass, Isagi! Soccer is a team sport! All for one and one for all! Isagi is reluctant at first, but in the end he concedes and passes the ball to his teammate, following his coach's orders. The striker for the opposing team, Kira Ryosuke, would think to himself, he passed to his teammate? Huh. For him to trust him at such a crucial moment, they must have a really strong bond. Wish I had something like that. But just then, disaster struck. Isagi's face would be covered with instant regret. Kira Ryosuke would see this opportunity and think to himself, well, this is no time to be daydreaming. He proceeds to counterattack and takes the ball straight down to Isagi's team post and scores a resounding goal to end the match. While Isagi's team would wallow in the shame of their defeat, Kira would be approached to be interviewed by multiple reporters and fans as well. Isagi's team proceeds to leave the stadium with their heads hanging low. But just as they leave, Kira can't help but look at them, especially Isagi, with a disappointed face. And that's when him and Isagi lock eyes for the very first time. On his way home, Isagi recounts the way the match played out, wondering what might have occurred if he didn't pass. He remembers how Kira looked at him, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Out of sheer frustration, he let out a frightening cry that could pierce the skies. When Isagi finally got home, his parents were worried for him. They knew he wouldn't take the loss too well. They asked him if he was alright, and he put up a brave front, telling them that he'd be fine, there was nothing to worry about. They sat down, had dinner like it was a normal day, but just then, his mother pulled out something in the mail for him. It was a letter? From the Japanese Football Federation? According to the contents of the letter, Isagi had been invited to Project Bluelock. Project Bluelock? What's that? Isagi asked. The letter wasn't too clear, but there was something in his heart. There was something that irked him. He knew he had to go. This was important. This could change everything. The next day, Isagi arrives at the address that was written on his invitation letter. He wonders if this is where he'll finally change. But just then, his thoughts are interrupted very quickly by a familiar voice behind him. Hey! Isagi Yoichi, right? He quickly turns around to see Kira Ryosuke, putting on his trademark smile. Isagi just stares at Kira for a bit, surprised that he even remembered his name. Kira nervously scratches his head and says, I didn't get it wrong, right? Did I? Isagi snaps back to reality. No, you're right, sorry. I was just lost in thought. It's nice to see you again, Ryosuke-san, Isagi says as he puts out his hand for a handshake. Kira shakes his hand and says, just call me Kira, and I'll call you Yoichi. That work for you? Isagi was a little taken back, but he smiles and says, sure. The two of them walk into the building and are immediately greeted by faces of a diverse cast of characters looking straight at them. They began to feel a bit of an awkward tension in the air, but it was soon cut short by the appearance of a man dressed in all black, spectacle-covered piercing eyes, and donned a rather questionable bowl cut. Ahem. Congratulations, my dear diamonds in the rough. You are the 318 and under strikers that I have chosen through my meticulous and very biased decision-making for Project Bluelock. And I am Ego Jinpachi. I am the one who has been chosen to make Japan win the World Cup. Isagi and Kira look at each other and then look back at Ego, both of them wondering the same thing. Who the hell is this guy? Ego continues. To make it simple enough, I'm here to create the one thing Japan has been missing all these years. The birth of an extraordinary striker. So I am here to run an experiment of some sorts on all of you, in which I will be turning one out of the 300 of you into the world's best striker. This is Project Bluelock. From today henceforth, your life in the outside world is over. You will be stuck here, living here, training here, with all special exercises that I've devised to make the best striker in the world. Say goodbye to whatever soccer you've been taught up till now. This is what matters. This is Bluelock. And I know it sounds like you're giving up a lot, but I promise you this. If you do manage to beat out the other 299, and you are the last man standing at the end of all this, I promise you, you will be the greatest striker that has ever graced this earth. That is all. It's gonna be nice working with you. All the occupants of the room began to chatter, all murmuring and discussing the words Ego had just said. Then one voice came out of the crowd, striking through, questioning Ego directly. Excuse me? Ego-san, was it? I can't agree to these conditions you're laying out for us. Isagi turned. The voice was coming from Kira. All of us have teams that are important to us. Some of us even have nationals. I'm not gonna abandon my team at a time like this for some dumb program. And as if they all identified him as their leader, the crowd rumbled with complaints. Yeah, I've got nationals. This guy's crazy. Hey, where's the door again? You're leaving? Well, I'm leaving too. Their complaining voices began to bounce off one another, echoing, becoming almost deafening. And that was when it happened. Okay then. Lock off. You guys must be sick or something. If you want to leave, you can leave. Is winning some national high school chicken shoot in this backwards country really more important than becoming the world's greatest striker to you? Huh? Just thinking that the future of Japan is in your hands actually makes me sick. The power of the Japanese Soccer Association is definitely first rate, but it's undeniably second rate in everything else. Now let me ask you a question. What exactly is soccer, huh? Is it the journey together with your team? Is it valuing bonds? No, maybe it's self-sacrifice, or maybe some other mushy nonsense that they told you on TV. No, sorry, it's not. Soccer is about scoring more goals than your opponent. The one who leaves with the most goals is the greatest. If you want to play some rainbow fairy tale game with your buddies, then go ahead and lock off now. Kira's fist would clench. His teeth would grit. He would look up and say that Ego with conviction. Not only is that a terrible thing to say, that's also just completely wrong. There are so many athletes on the Japanese team that I respect. I've seen them work together from day one till now. You don't know what you're talking about. Those men are heroes. Those men are my superstars. Superstars, huh? Oh, that's nice and all, but your superstars ain't ever won a World Cup now, have they? Ego's rebuttal would stun the room. And anyway, why are we talking about those backwater losers anyway? I'm talking about the greatest in the world. Instead of assisting my team to win 1-0, I'd rather score a hat-trick of 3-4 and lose, cause that just feels much better. Those are words from Noel Noah, the man who beat out Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi for the Ballon d'Or. And not just him. All the best strikers in the world are egotistical bastards to their core. Sounds so awful, doesn't it? Why would he ever say that? But guess what? He's the world's greatest striker, and all of them are like this. And that's what the Japanese team lacks. You can't be the world's greatest striker without being the world's most egotistical bastard. Isagi can feel his body quake and quiver as Ego speaks, each word making his heart race more and more. Abandon all common sense. On the field, you are the star, and I'm gonna make you that star. Pass through these gates and become the world's best striker. Before Isagi knew it, his body had already begun to move, and he was sprinting towards the gates. And like moths to a flame, everybody went in after him. Everybody except Kira. This continued until it was just Kira and Ego left in the room. Ego looked at at Kira with a sinister smile and said, "So, Mr. Judo Japan, are you gonna keep glaring at me all day? Or are you gonna make a decision?" With a serious look on his face, Kira balls his fist, but then proceeds to look down. He thinks to himself, who does this guy think he is? He can't be right. If he is, then everything I've done up to this point, what was it for? Kira lifts his head back up and glares at Ego and says, "I'll do it, but only to show you up and prove that you're wrong, not for your stupid promises of greatness." Kira sets his sights on the gates and continues walking till he goes right through it, officially becoming a part of Project Bluelock. After he leaves, Ego turns to his right and looks at a woman standing in the corner with a smile on his face and says, "Oh, Henry-chan, this might be a whole lot more fun than you had initially let on." Upon entering his designated room, the first person Kira sees is Isagi. "Oh, Kira. Yo, I guess we're roommates." On hearing this, Kira puts down his serious look and dons his trademark smile again. "Yeah, I guess we are. Well, I guess I better go change too," he responds as he picks up his Bluelock uniform and goes to go change. Once he gets back, everybody introduces themselves to one another, all except a boy with black and yellow hair who was sleeping on the ground. A broadcast of Ego appears on the screen in their room. He begins to explain the workings of Bluelock, explaining that their ranking is based on their skills, that the top 5 players will be picked to play in Japan's U20 World Cup, and most importantly, the fact that whoever fails at Bluelock is kicked out and will never play for Japan's national soccer team. Isagi notes how low he is on the ranking and feels a bit dejected. Kira notices this, but doesn't say anything. A ball proceeds to fall in the middle of the room. "Now for your first challenge. Your first challenge is a game of tag. Whoever is struck by the ball is it. Whoever is it by the moment the time runs out will be locked off. You have 136 seconds, and also using your hands is an immediate disqualification. Alright, good luck." After this, Ego then disappears from the broadcast and is then replaced with an icon displaying one of the other players in the room, Igarashi Gurimu. Igarashi is surprised, but wastes no time in trying to shoot the ball at the other players. They all evade his attacks with ease though. He tries again and again and again, but continues to fail. But when all hope seems lost, he spots the guy that was sleeping on the floor. "This is my chance." "Hey, don't blame me, man. It's your fault for sleeping at a time like this," he says as he tries to kick the ball towards the black and yellow-haired boy. But before he even gets the chance, the boy gets up with a handstand and delivers a vicious heel kick to Igarashi's face. Igarashi levies complaints about the fact that the boy hit him, expecting to be a foul called. But the boy was quick to point out that the only rule was that they couldn't use their hands. "Hi everyone, good morning," the boy said as he finally got up to his feet. Kira seemed unfazed by the violent kick, while Isagi on the hand seemed way more disturbed. A boy with spiky orange hair, Kunigami Rensuke, approaches the black and yellow-haired boy and tells him, "Hey, play fair. I'm not a fan of foul play." But at that moment, the ball bashed him in the face. "You left yourself wide open, man. No hard feelings though, you know?" Kunigami then let go of the black and yellow-haired boy and looked at Igarashi with a fierce expression before blasting the ball so hard it resembled a speeding bullet. With quick reflexes, Igarashi grabbed Isagi, who was right next to him, and used him as a human shield. As the ball made impact with Isagi's gut, he fell to the floor, wrenched in pain, as he coughed up saliva and began to breathe heavily. After doing this for a bit, Isagi noticed that there were only 40 seconds left on the clock. He got up and began to shoot the ball at anybody he saw, and as the case was with Igarashi, Isagi couldn't seem to land a hit on anyone. The timer continued to run down and it was now clocking at 15 seconds. This is when it began to set in for Isagi. This is where it ends? My dreams of becoming a striker. My dreams of playing for the national team. This is really over. The sound snaps Isagi out of his despair-filled thoughts. It was Igarashi. He collided with the boy with black and yellow hair and ended up straining his ankle and falling to the floor. This is my chance, Isagi thought as he approached the injured Igarashi with the ball. Igarashi pleads and begs Isagi not to do it, but Isagi doesn't respond to any of it. He was about to kick the ball in his face until he caught Kira staring at him in the corner of his eye. He stops dead in his tracks, and he remembers that look that Kira gave him at the end of their match. What am I doing? How will beating someone weaker than me help me change? It won't. If I want to change, if I want to get stronger, if I want to be the best, I have to beat the strong. Isagi then turns to the black and yellow haired boy, only to see him already dashing towards him. I like you. Name's Bachira, and you're right. If you're gonna beat someone, it should be the strongest guy here, Bachira says as he swiftly steals the ball from Isagi and dashes towards the highest ranking player in the room, Kira Ryosuke. Bachira glares at Kira with a grin before shooting the ball towards his face. Kira dodges it, only to be met with a flying roundhouse kick to the face that he dodges with ease, almost like he was used to dodging attacks like that. As Bachira lands, he proceeds to bicycle kick the ball up over Kira, and it lands in front of no one other than Isagi. Kira looks in Isagi's eyes and sees a wild look in his eyes. A look that Kira has never seen from Isagi, and a look that Kira never wanted to see again. Bachira yells and Isagi blasts the ball at Kira. The timer reads 3 seconds left as Kira falls to the floor. As this happens, Kira begins to see flashes of something. A memory he continued to push down, but could never forget. His heart starts to beat faster and faster as his thoughts race. Wait, I got hit? How? Wait. Does that mean I can't play for the Japan team? No. This is how it ends? No, it can't be. It can't be. No. I won't let it end like this! As the timer strikes 2, before Kira fully falls to the ground, his hand slams against the ground with a loud bang, using it to prop himself over the ground. Isagi looks at Kira with a shocked expression. His eyes and Kira's eyes meet again, but this time the look on Kira's face sends chills down Isagi's spine. It was one of pure frustration and rage. Something had been unlocked in Kira. Something had been activated. As the timer strikes 1, Kira holds his body in a perfectly horizontal position over the ground, picks out his target, and lets out a ferocious kick to the ball. And in response, the ball blasts off and connects to the temple of another player, Imamura Yudai, just as the timer hits 0 and goes off. Imamura falls to the floor, seemingly unconscious, while on the other hand, Kira rises with an angry look on his face, but more importantly, the same monstrous look in his eyes that Isagi and Bachira had.